Alright, how does this look? How does this sound? If we are live, let me open up my YouTube control panel. Excellent, finally. Chat. So let me open up my chat window here. I think I may be good now, but I don't know. I thought I was good before, but now I'm showing excellent, which I was not showing before. All right, so we got nobody here. Looks like I'm good though. It looks right. Streaming everything. There we go. Now I'm streaming. If anybody's here, let me grab a new link. And go on out. All right, it looks good. Yes, it does. I think I'm good here, right? What up, Stone Homie? Okay. Actually working this time, right? You can hear me? You can see me? Man, what a pain. Hello, Stone Homie. The stream is more warnings. I don't understand. But as long as you can hear me and see me, I think we're good. What up, Stone Homie? Oh my God, it's been I'm trying to do this for 45 minutes now. How you doing, Stone Homie? How's the wife doing? My wife is doing well. So I think we're good, right? You can see me? I think we're good. What up, Stone Homie? Oh my God, it's been I'm trying to do this for 45 minutes now. All right, let me see. Stone Homie, if you can hear me, give me a quick hell yeah there in the chat, because it's just not looking like anything's working right for me today. I don't know if anybody's actually here. If it's actually showing up. What in my YouTube window? Concurrent. There we go. I can hear you, see you. My wife's doing better on the mend. Thanks for asking. Good to hear. That's awesome. All right. Well, it looks like it's working well. Hell yeah, but it's being kind of wonky still. Man. I went through, I don't know what it is. YouTube's not receiving enough. Getting a message now in the studio where it was said excellent before. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, videos will experience buffering. Okay, so it's being kind of wonky. Let me make sure I have my blink cameras turned off, which I do. Yes, they're off. That normally causes the issue. No, it's okay. Weird. Very weird. I know my internet here, as I've discussed before, is not good. It's slow. Very, very slow. but this is good. This is awesome. Now it's okay. Let me know if it gets wonky again. It's just very, very weird. And it's not showing up on my channel. No, it's okay still. Hopefully it's still doing good. I am trying to see what is going on. If there's anything else I can grab. I am trying to tell. Now it's okay. Alright. Alright, so it is. I'm good. I'm going to copy a... It's just mind-boggling what technology does. Hate technology. I'm just sharing out some links here really quick. It boggles my mind that you can set everything up the best you think it's working. It looks good on your end, and then it just doesn't work out very well. It is bugging me today. It's just crazy and frustrating. So how you doing other than that, Stone Homie? How's things? Overloaded, considered turning down video settings or using a faster controller. I make those changes and it doesn't fix it. Man, I just don't get it. It's just popping in during work to say hi. Hey Heathen, how you doing? Ahoy. Hopefully it's not choppy for you anymore. Really curious what you think of that how to play video I did, Heathen. It's one of my longest videos I've ever done at 40 something minutes. Sorry about that. Damn allergies popping into it. Yeah, so that video was nice. I did it with no script, all top of my head. So hopefully I didn't ramble too much. I want to thank Wobble for giving me, telling me it was really good. Appreciate it. I'm a perfectionist, so I hate when I can't tell. Plan on checking it out tomorrow. Absolutely, yeah. No rush. I said it is. It's 40 minutes long, so it can be a little tough to watch there in one sitting. And of course, that was just the beginning. So, Heathen, anybody else, if you want specific videos, you want me to talk about certain things, just let me know. I have no problems doing a 5, 10, 15-minute video on a single topic. I much prefer them. They're much easier to handle and talk about. Keeps me kind of focused as well by having to talk about one topic. So, Heathen, have you played before, or you still haven't pulled that trigger yet? It looks like everything's working better. It's still buffering, I think. I don't know what to do. Oh, I think I know what I need to do. Okay, so I have that setting is too low and it's pushing it out at 20. Okay, so maybe if I can change it to 2700, I can bump it up just a little bit. Yes, let me try bumping this up 2800. See if that helps fix the issue I was having. So let's see if this is any better for everybody. Trying to tweak my settings here. Sorry, it's still a work in progress. Let me try that and see if that helps out a little bit better. Oh, so Heathen been playing twice a month for most of the past 9 months. There's meadery nearby that host games the second and fourth Thursday of each month. That's awesome. We have a couple restaurants and breweries around here that do the same. They work with a game store. That's awesome. What are you playing, Heathen? What class? And I'm sorry if anything keeps bouncing in and out. I'm trying to tweak the settings here. Trying to get it a little bit better. This error should go away now. Everything keeps... What the hell's going on now? Okay. I don't need that opened. I love playing. I would play as much as I could, but let's see. Right now, Goliath Ranger. Yes, new campaign we started yesterday. I love Goliath. I love playing like a Goliath Ranger. I had one called Zogon. He was it was right after Tasha's came out, and you could tweak. You didn't have to get stuck with Goliath get strength. You can put it in a deck, so I was able to build a Goliath Ranger. And that was with the 2014 rules. What type of ranger? Please tell me Gloomstalker. Gloomstalker is probably the best ranger class. That was what mine was, and he was a badass. Dungeon of Man Mage. He was super OP. So let me know what subclass you're playing too. That'd be great. New campaign started yesterday. That's great. Is it a homebrew campaign or is it a module? Like you run something. Now I'm getting an error. Ugh. These error messages just... It's... The stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended bitrate. Use a stream bitrate of 6800. When I do that, it locks up on me. Well, let's try to change that again. 6800. Okay. Changing that to 6800. Let me know if anything gets glitchy, and I can already tell it is. Well, might be better. Is this better for everybody right now? Give me a quick hell yeah if this seems better. If I'm not as bouncy or buffering. We haven't done anything with the subclass yet. Okay, so you're now up to level 3. Yeah, that's good. Relatively new DM, so these campaigns are short and simple for now. Perfect. Highly recommend short and sweet campaigns. Mini sessions, mini campaigns. 4 sessions, 8 sessions, 12 sessions. Just to let everybody get their feet wet. It's really great for new players, and it's really good for new DMs. Because it lets them start and finish something, get feedback right away for how they're doing. All right, errors went away. I assume we are no longer glitching. Looks better. All right, I think I've got the settings proper now. I'm still getting an encoder overloaded message in my OBS. No matter what I pick and choose, that thing just pops up. But that's awesome. Do you have a subclass in mind, Heathen, or do you guys don't get to that point? You just do level 1, level 2. A campaign doesn't last long enough to get to level 3, I assume. Let's see if I can make this any bigger so I can read it. Oh, what just happened? Okay, there we go. Trying to mess around with stuff. Okay. There we go. One-offs. Okay, current campaign will probably be 3 sessions, all at level 1. Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And actually, it's highly recommended that that's what you do. That is a good thing. It definitely helps the DM learn. And the players learn. I do love doing that. I like running new players through one-shots because I find it helps them just get their feet wet, like I said. So I'm still playing around with the frame here. I've got to do a better frame. But I did these myself. I did this one myself the other day. What do you guys think of the frame, the overlay around the windows? I do have a couple other frames that I have access to here. So hopefully everything is still looking good for you guys. That's good, thank you. Well, it's just me and you, Heathen. Check this out. Let's see. If I ever need to step away, I've got... This one will be for when I do mini painting. So I have different setup. And then this one, of course, is for my Ask Me Anything. So I took a little bit of time in Canva, created those up. Do you have any specific questions? Well, it's just you and I, Heathen. We can... I'm looking for any tips or tricks about anything specific. Those are great. Thank you. And a little bit something just if I have to step away to take care of my cats or my, with my wife, I want to pop something up there. I got a little countdown timer saying how long I've been gone for. A little countdown for when we're starting. Now that I have everything set up, I believe, to work right. If you're popping in new, throw something in chat. Let me know that you're here. Nothing I can think of right now. Awesome. Well, I'm always available. Always, even. Whether it's here, on of course, in our Discord, direct messages, whatever. Anything you want to know, I've got you. Alexandra... as a secret slime. Hi, Alexandra. And how to make a player as a secret slime? What do you mean secret slime? Like an ooze? Appreciate it, Rich. Not a problem, Heathen. Secret slime. Never heard that term. How to make a player as a secret slime. Well, I'm not sure what that is, so I'll wait for the chat to pop up. I don't know what kind of delay there is. Hopefully none now. Making players secret species or classes can, as in no one knows he's a slime. You mean like a slimy person, or an actual slime like an ooze? Because there could be, could handle it two different ways. Now, if you mean either way, initially, making a player that has a secret like that, a secret background or a secret species, or he's not what he seems, is a great idea. However, you will run into issues where trying to keep that secret starts to go against the party. And in my video I did yesterday, I talked about how you don't really want to go against the party because it ends up causing conflict. You really want to be... Secrets are one thing. It's good to have secrets, but if you have truly big secrets like that, you definitely got to work with your dungeon master. Figure out how to keep it secret so that it doesn't accidentally get revealed. Like I said, it's going to come to a point where you're going to try to keep the secret at the detriment of the party. I've never been a big fan of players with big, deep, dark secrets because, like I said, it results in conflict almost every single time. A couple of campaigns ago, I played a rogue that was actually secretly working with the BBEG. However, I never let it get in the way of the party's goals. The party never asked to do insight checks. When I would disappear at night and come back the next day, they never asked questions. They just rolled with it. So I wasn't actively deceiving them. They weren't just asking. So you have to play it right if your dungeon master lets you do something like that, if it's a secret. Because, like I said, it can go sideways bad. And you're going to get mad that somebody spilled the secret or that the dungeon master did. Or, like I said, you're going to start being obviously working against the party or working in your own interest instead of the party's. So the key thing to remember is to never go against the party's interests, not as a player. I don't mind having it revealed. It just sounds like fun to others' reaction when they find out. Yes, if you do it like that and your dungeon master figures out a mechanic for it to happen, because right now, as written, there are no character or classes like that. Spelljammer brought in an ooze, a playable ooze. One of our players was one in one of our last campaigns. The only secret character you can be in terms of species is a changeling. So you'd have to work with your dungeon master, figure out how to make it work at a mechanical level, and then decide how long you want to keep it secret. And again, this is where the dungeon master can come into play, because you can have it revealed at a spot, at a point in the future. Hey, as part of this arc, let's do this. Let's have this revealed. We'll have something mechanical that will trigger the reveal. And that way it can be worked in, and it's part of a quest line. And as long as you're working with the party the whole time, that's great. It's awesome to do that. And that's what I had with my rogue, was it was going to be worked out where my patron was actually the BBG of the arc. But I was going to turn on him because I knew he was messing with my memories. But I never went against the players the whole time. I always went with the party. Now, I may not help in a decision, but I wouldn't actively fight against it. So as long as you're not actively fighting against the party, roll with it. Talk to the dungeon master. It can be good, but it can be also tricky. So hopefully your dungeon master has done something like that in the past, or is experienced enough to be able to handle something like that. Remember, the dungeon master is working with all their own secrets. So adding another level in with a player having a secret like that is more work for him or them. So, thank you. Great question. Like I said, I can ramble all day about some of these. If you just popped in, please pop hello into the chat so we can see who's here. I'm interested to see, and if you guys haven't already, please. I just put a new video out last night, how to play D&D. I try to break it down to a basic level for new people to play. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're approaching 300. We're at 299 when we started this. And I don't think we're at 300 yet. Maybe we are. Did we hit 3? Yes, we did. We hit 300 subscribers. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, so much. That's 300 subscribers in just over a year. I'll take it. And we've got a lot more subscribers to the channel in the last 2 months. We've really starting to skyrocket. So hopefully you guys all like the content we put out. Like I said, start looking for live streams and mini paintings. Start looking for actual play, more actual play videos. I also have the Ko-fi. You can see at the top up there, I have a Ko-fi where I've been slacking, but I will start putting out my campaign, recapture the campaign I run. Congrats. Thank you, Heathen. I just found out about this channel. Thank you, Alexandra. Yeah, well, hey, the more the merrier. And there's a couple cool Discords I'm in, and we're starting to get a little bit of traction. So hopefully you found me through one of those. There was the FOMOCon Discord that we got set up yesterday, and it's taking off. It's for people who can't go to Gen Con. So I know I posted the channel in there, and hopefully pushing this links. I'm also in the Quest and Whiskey Find Familiar Spirits Discord for the fan club, so maybe you found me that way. Do you have any guides for Werewolf Apocalypse? I've never played it. Unfortunately, lately I've been sticking with D&D. We did a little Fabula Ultima, but was not impressed. YouTube recommended me. Well, thank you, YouTube. Interesting. Awesome. But yeah, I've been sticking with D&D. I run one game, and I play in another. Then, of course, this channel. And we do play other TTRPGs, but they tend to... my game group tends to play those like we will tonight. When one or two players can't be there. Somebody's running Marvel. Another guy runs Cthulhu. I just, like I said, most of the time they run them because I'm not there. But I've heard of Werewolf and Apocalypse. I'm going to have to look it up because I'm definitely interested in everything and expanding my experience, my knowledge. Video content. Always looking for video content. But I'll definitely think about that, Alexandra. I appreciate that. Looks like we had a couple people pop in and pop out. For those who don't know me, my name's Rich. I'm an old guy. I just turned 50 last week. I'm playing D&D and other board games and everything since the 80s. Really got back into D&D back in 2018 and board games again, the modern board games. I had a change in my life, and board games and D&D helped keep me sane and happy and hanging out with good friends. Alexandra, it's the first time I ever played its 20th anniversary edition. Gotcha, okay. Wow, so... I know I have not played it, but I have heard of it, so maybe... I've known a lot of people playing different games, so I know there can be some... I probably heard about it somewhere. And I lost all my YouTube stuff. Where the hell did it go? There they are. Okay. 20th anniversary. No, let's see, going back to the 20 years ago, I was playing 3, 5, 4, little Pathfinder. I said I got out of the hobby for a little while, playing board games and playing like Dungeons and Dragons for about 15 years. I'd play one-offs here and there for D&D. I think it was 3, 5, and once was in 4. But I'll definitely look into it, see what it's about. For those who, like I said, if you're just popping in the channel, unless it's just Heathen Alexander still, give me something in the chat. Let me know you're here. I'm hoping to do more with this live stream, more steady live streaming. I don't want to interrupt Wobble Rocket. He's got a pretty good live stream schedule, and our fan base is cross, so I don't want to take away any of his views. For me, it's more of, I've got a couple of hours, let me try it. And it took me about 45 minutes to get this going today, so missed out a little bit of time. But I think I'm good for as long as we want to talk, as long as people want to talk. I am here. And any questions? Not just about D&D, it can be about anything. 80s movies, obviously, Goonies, right? 80s video games, Atari and the original NES were my first 2 game systems. My grandmother had Pong, so I played a lot of Pong when I was very young, before Atari 2600. We got the NES, then of course the Sega. And then I moved on to PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Now on PlayStation 4, I just play Skyrim and Minecraft when I get the time. Most of my spare time is spent doing stuff for this channel. Trying to come up with, frames to put around videos, or editing videos, or recording videos. It's just me. I have a partner and for the channel, and we do a lot of stuff together. They do the board games and stuff. But so yeah, any questions? Just pop them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer anything. Like I said, if you just popped in, hello, pop your name pop a hello into the chat for us. What was your first character's name? Wow. I have to go back to, sorry, that was my phone. First character's name. Probably something, I'd have to go back to the early 80s. So why don't we just go back to when I first picked up 5e. My first character in 5e in January of 2019 was Tadus. Tadus. He was a moon druid. Yep. A wood elf moon druid. Loved playing him. That campaign lasted for a year. And COVID hit. One of the players moved away. So that campaign came to a screeching halt, sadly. We were being run through Lost Mines of Phandelver. We never got into we got into the mines. But we got to the mines at level 9. We had gone off on side quests and explored the countryside. We started at level 1 and we were at level 9 by the time we got into the mines. In the very first session, we got into the mines, ended the session, leveled up to level 9. And I was excited because I had a giant scorpion mini for my druid to turn into. And COVID hit. And we never played again. But yeah, I've had a lot of characters over the years. So yeah, that was in 2019. He is an NPC in my campaign world that I run for my players. They have not come across him yet, and I don't think they will in this campaign. I'm thinking he will be an NPC in the second campaign. Great question. Thank you. Yeah, so hello to anybody who's new. Like I said, pop a hello into the chat. I appreciate it. So let me know you're here. Ask any questions. Ask anything about anything. What games are you currently playing right now, Alexandra? I know Heathen's playing D&D. Are you playing just Werewolf Apocalypse? Or are you playing D&D as well? Favorite character or NPC? Whew. I was talking with Heathen before. I think my favorite character was Zogan, my Gloomstalker Ranger. It was created right after Tasha's Cauldron and everything came out, so you were able to completely change how you do ability scores. He was massive. He used a massive longbow. He had an amazing backstory, a prophecy. He was raised by drow after he fell into a cave chasing a dire bear. Oh, it was your first game ever. Okay. But Zogan, I created the character before realizing that the campaign was going to be Dungeon of the Mad Mage. If you've never played a Gloomstalker Ranger, they are pretty much invincible in the darkness. Especially 2014 rules. I think they were slightly nerfed a little bit in 2024. But they are super OP because they have the invisible condition in darkness. Even dim light, if you have dark vision, you cannot see them. It's a Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Almost everything is in darkness or large areas of darkness. So and I rolled really well for his stats. He was sick. Just sick how strong he was. Well, it got to the point where the party, it was always Zogan going ahead because he was a ranger rogue. So he was always going ahead, checking for traps, killing all the goblins that were ahead of the party, and the party was almost starting to do nothing. So I made the decision to stop playing that character and move to a different character that wasn't as overpowered. Now, I'd love to go back to play Zogan. He is an NPC in my world right now. My party has gone and helped him a couple of times on one-shots. But I think I need to make myself a note to talk about when do you stop playing a character. I think that might be a good video option. As a player, when do you stop playing a character that you're either bored with, you have a better character you want to play, or maybe the character doesn't fit the campaign as well? If you guys think that would be a good topic for a video, for a player tip? Let me know in the comments. Hello to anybody new. Like I said, pop a hello into the chat. Let us know you're here. Ask any questions. I'm willing to answer anything, not just about D&D or board games or whiskeys and beer. If you haven't seen my channel, we cover a wide range of things. The whiskeys we talk about mainly are from Five Familiar Spirits and Quest End Whiskey. They're wonderful. They are not a sponsor, but they are amazing. Go check them out. All my channel has, any video has any links to all of that stuff. Actually, I think that would make for a good video. Will do. I may toss in another player tip video this weekend. I've got 28 DM tip videos and 5 player tip videos, so I think I need to roll with the player tip videos a little bit more. But Heathen, that was your idea for how to play, basically, so hopefully let me know when you watch that video tomorrow. That'd be great. The Welsh DM. Welcome, Mr. Welsh DM. I know it is late for you, right? Correct, sir? I spent 4 years in England, so I know. Have a good stream, buddy. Passing through, we'll ask you, what's your drink of choice as a GM? I am normally sipping on High Noon, or I'm sipping on one of my Quest End whiskeys. I like to sip on it. I have water or seltzer, too. But, anybody, Alexandra, Heathen, go check out the Welsh DM. They have amazing videos, great content, just very good. I compare myself to the guys like Welsh DM and Magpie and Bearded Halfling, and I just kick myself because I know I could be as good as they are, but man, they're good. So I appreciate you popping in, Welsh. I know it's late for you. It's probably, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night for you. Like I said, I spent 4 years stationed in England, so never got down to Wales, unfortunately. Spent 4 years right around Cambridge for the Air Force. But yeah, I sip on high noons generally if I'm playing. Or if I'm playing or if I'm running again. I said, I do like a good whiskey to sip on. You know, subscribe to Welsh DM. There you go. That's how this works, right? Go find new and exciting people to watch. And the Welsh DM is definitely one that's worthy of your subscription. I turned 50 last week, so my beer fridge is full of beer because we had game night with my buddies from Virginia that we used to do game night with. So I've got a bunch of really good beer in my fridge, so I may be sipping on them for a little while when I'm playing D&D. I actually had to cancel D&D last night. I had to, my wife had surgery yesterday, or 2 days ago, so I'm taking care of her, and I'm going to take care of the cats, and it was just not worth running D&D last night here in the house. I will do it next week, though. Like I was talking about before, check out my Ko-fi there above. I've been doing recaps of my campaign. Been slacking on it, but I plan on jumping back in and catching everybody up to where the party is. They're in session 50. They've completed 51 sessions. Can't remember where I got to in the recaps. Alexandra, have you ever think of making a short campaign that chat can play with you? I am not big on doing things online. I have a slight hearing issue, so any kind of audio chat, it's hard for me to follow if I'm not in person. And I don't really have the setup or knowledge for how to run things virtually. There are places though that will do that. The Wobble Fit Discord is starting to do games like that. There's the FOMOCon Discord that just got set up. They are going to be running games virtually through Discord. I do not, and I don't really ever have any plan to. Like I said, it's just not my wheelhouse. I've played as a player a couple of times in some online games in Fantasy Ground, and I just had a hard time following along. Too many people talking at once over the headphones. It all became white noise to me. Plus, having to use a dice roller online, I once rolled 8 nat 20s in a game as a player. In person, online, my first 5 rolls were 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. So, yeah, I'm not big about doing campaigns online. That's just how I feel. But there are plenty of places out there that will do it, though. You just gotta find them, and yeah, I'm sure if that's something you'd be interested in, Alexandra, check out the Wobble Fit Discord. You can find, they're off of Blue Sky. Go check out Wobble Rocket on Blue Sky. Big friend of the channel. Go check them out, and links to the Discord will be in there. And somebody will find you what you're looking for if that's what you're interested in. Great question, though. But yeah, too many issues with me, so medical, physical problems. But sorry about that loud click. If you heard that, I saw it spike my microphone there. I am sorry if my voice pops occasionally. I am a very loud person. Let's see. What was drink of choice? OGM, that was Welch. Let me go back through the chat here. Good video. Favorite character or NPC? My favorite NPC in my campaign right now would have to be Duke Draymore. He was the right-hand man to the princess. Of course, he was evil and is working for the BBEG. right now the party hates him more than they hate the BBEG because they've never directly interacted with the BBEG. They've interacted with the BBEG's top general a couple of times, but the Duke they've interacted with on multiple occasions. And the Duke was responsible for killing one of the halfling family NPC families that I created. It was all for the story, for a character arc, but still, he's got to be my favorite NPC because he's just hated so much by the party. So if you're a dungeon master and you can pull out hate from your party for a character that they're supposed to hate, you know you're doing something right. Just like Larry Linville in the TV series MASH. The kid who played Joffrey and Paul Gleason in Game of Thrones. You know you are doing something right when you are hated in real life for the character you portray. So the guy who played Frank Burns in MASH, Larry Linville, and of course Joffrey in Game of Thrones, they were hated in real life because of how good their characters were. So as a dungeon master, if you can get that same hate for one of your NPCs, that's perfect. That's the chef's kiss. That's what you want. You know, if you can pull real emotion out of your players, whether it be anger, sadness, fear, if you can get real emotion out of your players, especially if they're really buying into your story and their characters, that is like the ultimate goal of a DM. If you watch people like Matt Mercer, when he gets his players crying or screaming or mad, you know it's because he made that character so well that it pulled out real emotion out of the player, not just the characters. So that's why I like Duke Draymore as my favorite NPC. It's just, made the party so mad. And every interaction with the party just amped it up step by step by step. It was great. It's so bad that they still to this day are carrying around a bunch of heads from every creature they have killed that they plan on dumping on him. It's awesome. You gotta love that when that happens. Question, Alexandra, have you ever thought about making one of the generals join the party as some annoying little character which they will start liking with time, only to find out he's a general? No, there's a couple reasons. One, just like with your secret character question before, doing something like that, it can be good, but it has to be done right, has to be done well, which can be tough. Second is, I don't want to run a DMPC. I don't want to have a NPC with the party more than one session or more than one encounter or adventure, just because you don't want to drag it out and I don't want to play the game. I want to run the game. And that kind of thing could be very difficult to do. All right, really quick, Heathen. Thank you, sir. Thank you for popping in. Gotta run. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care, Heathen. So, back to you, Alexandra. Yeah, so you run into the risk of the DMPC, which is where you have a PC that knows everything that's going to happen, that has plot armor, and in this case, based upon what you're saying, they would have plot armor. Now, I'm not against having an NPC turn on the players. That's a totally different thing than what you're asking, I believe. Because there may be that in my world. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know if my players actually are watching this or will watch this one. But turning traitor on the party is always a good thing. It's a trope for a reason. It works. It works very well. The Duke was actually the princess's right-hand man. and nobody knew he was working for the BBEG until certain things started to happen, and he started to get in too deep. The party was finding out too much, and then it was revealed. So in that case, I kind of did, because he was working for the princess, and the party was working for the princess. But I would never have anybody work directly with the party in terms of long term. It would be an NPC that they occasionally will run into, or like I said, for maybe a session or two. But not anything that would be long enough like what you're talking about doing. So, spoilers ahead, but if you watch Critical Role, Matt Mercer's done this a couple of times. He did it in Campaign 3, and it worked really well, but it was very limited, 4 episodes or something like that, and it was played by a guest character. It was not done by the Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master should keep the DMPCs to a minimum. I have had a couple of NPCs play along in an encounter in combat with the party, but only for one encounter. It sounds like it's a fun campaign. My campaign, yes, I'm thinking it is a fun campaign. My players like it. They keep coming back for 51 sessions, so and it includes a year break in between due to flooding in our basement. But I hope it's a fun campaign. Right? This has been fun. A lot of great questions, Alexandra. Thank you. This should make for hopefully a good rewatch for people that missed it, because you've been asking some great questions. Really great questions. NPCs should be short encounters with the party. Limited encounters with the party, except as needed. You know, the times I have run an NPC in the same combat as the players, it's because it was a highly scaled up encounter that required having an extra body on the map. And it was to the point where that NPC helped the players get past a mini-boss and then stayed behind to guard the opening while the party moved on to take on the boss of the encounter. You know, so... Sorry. So I've even controlled NPCs that way to minimize the DMPC aspect of it. Because a DMPC can be one of the worst things a DM does. If you want to play, play. If you want to DM. Don't do both at the same time. It just leads to animosity. It leads to plot armor. It leads to a character that knows all. But this is good. I think I got the settings right? I think the sound's good now. I think the video is good. I'm getting good readings. No more error messages popping up, so I think I'm finally getting this right. Getting some drop frames, but that's to be expected with my internet here. So Alexandra, it's just you and me. If you want to keep asking questions, please do. Don't mind me when I'm looking at my phone and just checking to make sure nobody needs me for anything. But I'm very happy at hitting 300 subscribers. It is kind of exciting for me to have hit that goal. Got one more week to hit 500 subscribers. For the month, not going to happen. But, Alexandra, like I said, you can see my link for my Ko-fi up above. If you go there, I do have articles I've written that talk about my campaign and recapping what they've done and what's happened. What do you do when your players don't find important clues or go the very wrong way? That depends. If they don't find the important clues, I have to look at it and decide, figure out why they didn't find it. Was I too subtle? Players sometimes need big old neon arrows saying, this is a clue right here, right here. See this piece of paper on this desk? Big clue. Other times, and it's something I don't do anymore, thankfully, but was the clue hidden behind a dice roll? And they didn't roll high enough, so now they didn't get the clue. That's something that should never be done. Anything that is plot relevant should always be very easy for the party to get. Not easy, but it shouldn't be hidden behind failure. They should be able to get it in time. If they're going the wrong way, unfortunately, with Dungeons and Dragons, the players decide what happens with the story. Now, I can leave hooks if they've gone too far to try to get them to come back around to the campaign. You want to be careful about railroading players, and this is the situation where you could easily railroad your players back onto the rails. You could easily just put the story where they are now, which you don't want to do. If the plot relevant city was to the right, but they went into the woods to the left, that plot relevant city needs to stay to the right. You can't quantum ogre a plot relevant city. And if you don't know, quantum ogre is picking up an encounter that was supposed to happen over here and moving it over here in front of the party because they went left instead of right. When it comes to plot relevancy and keeping the players on the rails, you got to be very careful. You don't want to wreck their agency. You don't want to railroad them. So guide them back with other key plots, other key points, other key clues. And if they missed it over here, and it was mainly because of your fault, move the clue. Or create a new clue that points them back to where that clue should have been. There's always going to be more than one person that knows something in the world. So if that person, if they didn't go see, Timmy over in the town, they can still go see Steve over in the woods and get the same information. Have you ever panicked when they did something so stupid it worked too much? Yes. They're players. They're going to do something so stupid, and because it relies on dice rolls, it's going to succeed. But that is what D&D is. Those are the memorable moments. Those are the shenanigans. And I don't necessarily panic because they did something awesome or they did something so crazy. I'm hoping that if it was stupid and world breaking or whatever, I said no, which is one of my latest videos I just did. The DM can say no. They can say yes but or no but and try to corral the shenanigans you're talking about. But sometimes player shenanigans work. As a player myself, I know in our party we get up the shenanigans and it just works. What are you going to do? What's the DM to do? If the Dungeon Master allows a roll, there's always a chance for success or failure, either way. So as a Dungeon Master, if you allow a roll, you have to be willing to and able to deal with whatever the result of that roll is. So if you don't want to deal with the consequences, don't have your players roll. Once they roll, it is out of your hands, it is out of their hands, it is now into the almighty dice god's hands. And sometimes they're a little finicky and funny. They are... Dice gods will make weird things happen. So, the whole point is to stop your players from getting too crazy. Keep them on point like we were talking about before without railroading. And figuring out why did they miss something or why did you allow something to happen. Because it's usually going to come back on the Dungeon Master. Either being too subtle, not saying no, saying yes when they shouldn't have, allowing a roll when they shouldn't have. They should have either said no, that's not possible, or it automatically succeeds. because you can have failures that change things or derail something inadvertently. But as a dungeon master, you have to be ready for your players to do something stupid. What dice is better, resin or metal? I love metal dice, and I have a great set from Only Crits. They're one of my sponsors. After this video is done, I'll drop some links into the description. Metal dice I find to be heavy. I've never had good luck with them rolling very well. You have to use a dice tray with the metal dice. Resin is great. Resin, I find, cheap resin is definitely different than the more expensive resin, or polymer, or stone, or metal, or glass, or gemstone. Or I have a set of dice that are stone, and the warmer I get it, the better it rolls for some reason. If it's sitting in my dice tray for an hour because I haven't had to make a roll, it's going to roll bad. So I lean more towards stone and resin. I do like the real stone dice. The gemstones can be a little delicate, but metal dice are beautiful. I've got, like I said, a set from Only Crits that are blue and white. They're the ice dagger set. They're really good. Other metal, I have a D100. I got a rainbow D100. It's hollow. It's metal. It's really hard to read because of the rainbow colors. I find metal dice can be much harder to read sometimes because they didn't do the contrast right, whereas for the most part on resin dice or other types of dice, that contrast is better. So, but it really comes down to what you prefer, what you like to roll, what works for you. Like I said, I have one set of dice I use as a player because that set rolls a lot of nat 20s. A lot of nat 20s. And I don't want to use that set as the Dungeon Master. But I have the Critical Role Campaign 1 dice sets from Critical Role. I have those. I use the Matt Mercer dice, the Grog Strong's Draw, and the Percy dice. I use 3 sets. And I roll really well with those, and those are high quality resin dice. Or polymer. Whatever you want to call them. And they roll really well for me. So it's really what works for you. Because one set of dice rolls really bad for me will roll really well for you. So it's about finding what you like. And of course, a $2 set of dice may roll better for you than a $50 set of dice. You just never know. I gave away a metal set I had once to a friend of ours, a young player named Noah. I gave it to him for just because he just started playing D&D. I had a nice wormwood box I had gotten as a gift for painting somebody a mini for him. So I gave Noah, this 10-year-old at the time, it was only like a $40 or $45 set of metal dice in a wormwood box at 10 years old. And it rolled really well for him. But it never rolled well for me, so I never used them. Of course, I'm not going to just keep a set like that sitting. So, find what works for you. You won't know until you roll, and I have a ton of dice. I keep getting new dice, but I keep sticking with the same sets because they roll so well. Great question. Because personal preference in this hobby, whether it's board games, whether it's TTRPGs, whether it's whiskey and beer, whether it's movies, it's all personal preference. It's what you like. Welcome to a new person. Pop a question in, pop a hello into the chat. Let us know you are here. Let us know you are here. Say hello. Alexandra, have you ever pitied a player so you pretended you missed him or the DC was lower than a monster? Okay. So, fudging dice as a DM. There's 2 schools of thought on this. One school says, don't ever fudge dice. The dice tell the story. Doesn't matter if they're level 1. A hit's a hit, and if they're rolling death saves, so be it. Which is great. Oh, Stonehome Games, welcome. When will you consider yourself Rich, the veteran GM? We answered this last live stream, probably not until Campaign 2 starts, and then I'm still going to call myself Rich, the first-time DM, because it works really well, and I love my logo. Thank you for the question, Stonehome Games. Alexandra, so back to them. So I've never fudged dice. Now, DC being lowered in a monster, it does happen. That is what you do when you are adjusting the encounter on the fly. Either because, for some reason, the encounter is tougher than it should have been. I've had to do that before where, oops, this guy can't be hit, or that spell save DC is too high for the party. I didn't account for the paladin not being there this game when they normally are, so that changes everybody's saves by +4, +5. So adjusting a monster's armor class, hit points, is what DMs do on the fly. That's how you adjust the encounter to either increase or decrease the difficulty of the encounter because of the random chaos that happens during combat. Something, either you're rolling really, really well, the players aren't rolling well at all, the encounter is taking a long time, and you can justify it by saying this monster's been taking a lot of hits, so everything's starting to drop. He's starting to become tired, so his defenses aren't as well. You can easily do that. So I have done that. Don't fudge dice rolls. Let the dice tell the story. The Dungeon Master is the narrator of the player's story, and the dice are really what is used to determine the story itself, the consequences of decisions made by the players. And that includes you as a DM. Now you can, if you're running a one-shot to teach people how to play, that would be a little bit different, but not in a campaign. Don't fudge them. Let the dice fall where they may. You know, if a player has to roll up a new character at level 1 because they've taken a critical hit from a goblin, so be it. I've had to do it. It's what happens in the game. And that kind of thing, well, it's kind of funny, you know, a player dying early or getting close to being killed early, a character dying rather, not the player. Player dying early is a whole different problem. Character dying early in the game lets the players know that death is on the table, that death is possible. If you as the DM keep pulling your punches, they will never have that urgency to finish the fight, or we got to get this done now because the bard is you can't take one more hit, they'll die. If you don't have that urgency, you're taking away part of the game, part of that which makes combat exciting. If you know that going in that none of the players will die, none of the characters will die, combat loses kind of interest because there's no urgency there, there's no stress. So don't fudge the dice, let it happen. Stonehome Games, I'd rather have a deity interfere in game in the moment than have the dice be a lie. Yes, deus ex machina is always an option, whether it be a deity, a higher powered NPC. You could also have the bad guys not kill the players outright. They wake up unconscious, tied up kind of deal. That's always an option, and it adds for great storylines and great arcs. Rather than let the dice do what it does, just change what happens at the end. But I agree, the urgency and fear of death is the key to good combat. Yes. If there's no fear of failure in the game, why play it? Especially in a game that you cannot win. D&D is a game you are playing to survive. So if you remove that piece, why are you playing D&D? Can't win, you survive. But yeah, great point, Stonehome, about the deus ex machina aspect. There's always something the DM needs to keep in their back pocket, especially at earlier levels. A TPK becoming now the campaign is the party's captured by the BBEG and they have to work for him to earn their escape. Or, you know, they're not dead, now the players are in purgatory and have to fight their way out. You can always do that kind of thing. But let the dice rolls have consequences. Absolutely. And that's why, as a DM, never ask for a dice roll unless you're willing to deal with the consequence, good or bad. Excellent question, Alexandra. You are hooking this live stream up today. I appreciate it. Definitely working good. I just got to take a note about that one video idea before I forget. When to stop playing a character. When to stop playing a character. Yeah, so I love doing these. Still at home. Not sure if you were around. I hope to do live stream mini painting sometime this weekend, maybe. Went through and created some cool little overlays. So it's not just me on the screen. You got the chat in the corner. While it's we got some stuff. I've got a nice little. There are built-in mechanics that can cause the whole game to fail, such as wild magic, madness, etc. So sometimes as a GM, you have to be aware of prep time, fun, and everything else versus TPK. Yes, absolutely. In my game, I created an island that was overrun with wild magic due to reasons. The first encounter, the wild magic surges weren't that bad. The players had to roll a d6, and on an odd, had to roll in the wild magic table if they cast a spell of 6th level or lower, which they each have one 6th level slot, and the rest are all below. And it caused some funkiness. It definitely slowed the game down. Not too bad. The next encounter on the island, they were starting to get to the heart of where the wild magic surges were coming from. So they rolled on every spell cast below a 6th level. A lot of shenanigans. 2 players turned blue. 1 player is now 9 years younger permanently. A couple players had butterflies. 1 player went bald. But it also caused fireball to explode on the party, which wasn't a big deal. But fog cloud appeared with no way to get rid of the fog cloud. And one of the bosses, one of the guardians guarding the stairs down, was inside his fog cloud, so everybody was rolling a disadvantage because you're blinded. And it slowed the combat to a crawl. So, in the boss fight coming up, I changed it. Now they will roll a d10 on a 3 or less while magical surge on anything cast below a 3rd level. I had to change it up because, like you said, Stonehome, I didn't account for the shenanigans and craziness that wild magic can bring in. Yes, most of it is 1 round and done, or it's a cool effect, but there are some lingering effects that can cause issues and wreak havoc with not just the encounter, but the campaign. Excellent point, Stonehome. Alexandra, are your players paranoid about doors? No, my players are not paranoid about doors. They did not have a rogue in the party. So I did not want to do anything like that just because you got to create encounters that they can get past. And if I put a locked door, they can end up like Vox Machina, where doors are their bane to their existence. Without having somebody proficient in Thieves' Tools, doors become a problem. Now, as a player, I am always, because I've played rogues so many times, I am definitely afraid of doors. Every door. Is it trapped? Is it locked? I don't step on rugs, because my rogue once got almost killed by a rug of smothering. So, any rogue I play instantly knows not to walk across any rugs. No, my players are paranoid about a bunch of other stuff, so that's all good. They don't know who's actually working for the BBG fully. They just don't know. I've got them. The Paladin's paranoid about everything. It's great. Mimic doors. I have used mimic doors. I used the mimic door in a inn that was nothing but mimics, gargoyles, animated armor, rugs of smothering, cloakers, changeling, doppelgangers. So the main door leading down to the boss of the encounter's office was a giant mimic door, and it did split the party in half. It was great. But yeah, my paladin is paranoid about everything now. It's great. I love it. It's the right level of paranoia, though. You know, my rogue, when I play a rogue, never walking on rugs becomes problematic sometimes because I get focused on that piece. So being paranoid to the point of starting to ruin the experience is not good either. So you have to find, as a dungeon master, you have to find that balance of that's the right level of paranoia versus now this is becoming just, it's no longer a running joke. It's gone, it's outlived it's the point of it. But paranoia, yes, paranoia is always good. Like I was talking about before, if you can make your players angry, sad, upset, happy, paranoid, you know you're doing something right as a dungeon master. You know you're hitting on key points that are important to the players and the characters. And your players are getting immersed into their character, which is huge. Because the more you're immersed into your character, the better the world will be. So what's going on in Stone Home Games? Is this Drew or Chuck? I forget which one's which. There's too many people in our Discord. I forget who's who sometimes. But yeah, more questions. This is great. I can sit here as long as my wife doesn't need me for something and I don't need to go eat. Let's see what we got coming up here on the channel. More live streams, hopefully. We got an actual play of Horrified Dungeons and Dragons from Ravensburger coming up. We're going to try to do Brave or Knave, the dice game from the folks at Quest and Whiskey. We had an issue with recording that a couple weeks ago where I didn't actually record the game. Technology. Freaking hate it. So we got that coming up on the channel. Let's see, maybe me and my buddy Bo, we're still talking about sipping on my whiskeys and my alcohol, my liquor, and reading D&D horror stories. That's always an option. Still thinking about getting back to the DMs at the tavern. We've only done two of those. One was during Dragon Week, and we talked all about dragons. It's scheduling. Scheduling is hard. He's got a full-time job that makes him work, till 6, 7 o'clock at night, so it can be hard scheduling that kind of thing. Live streams for mini painting. I'm definitely going to get back into that. Some giveaways coming along with that, maybe. Looking for other giveaways for the channel. Maybe next month doing another giveaway of Light of Long Lasting. That worked really well. Thinking about maybe trying to reach out and doing live interviews with creators. I'm hoping to, the folks over at Quest End, I would love to get in there and do an interview with some of those people. So I got to reach out to Best T, Teresa. I don't know if they're in on this. I'm just going to pop in over here really quick and check out my Discord and see if they had some good questions from before when this initial one failed. It wasn't working very well. But good. I like this setup now. I think the stream is working well. So, I think, Alexandra, if you're the only one here, I want to thank you. Thank you for all your questions today. I think I'm going to wrap this up. It was fun. Really appreciate all the questions today. thank you again for subbing to the channel. I said, go to one of my other videos. You'll find a bunch of links in the description going back to our Blue Sky. There's I have a Discord channel. Nobody's really in it, but Wobble Rocket on Blue Sky is who you really want to get hooked up with, because they have the Wobble Rocket Discord. If you send me a message if you're on Blue Sky, I can hook you up with that Discord. That's where we all hang out. A great group of people in there, talk about everything. So with that, as always, love each other, be nice to each other, and accept each other. Talk to you guys later.